Hello, I'm Dave, and I've always loved creating an image. I've always loved creating a story. I think it comes from a love of movies. I've always been into my films, so much so that back in the day I joined that Britannia video club where they used to send you videos through the post. You know, even if you didn't want them, sometimes you'd get the film with the month or whatever it was, and if you didn't send it back, you had to pay for it. And when I say videos, I mean the old-fashioned VHS video cassettes. Yeah, that's how old I am. Remember them? And then obviously DVD came around, and my collection just grew and grew and grew and grew. And then obviously nowadays with Netflix and everything else, you don't need a shelf full of videos and DVDs. You just go online and stream it. Anyway, I always used to write my own screenplays, write my own scripts, but for a few people that read them, they never really saw the light of day. They just stayed on my laptop and I never did anything with them. I did post 2 stories that I wrote on a website called Wattpad, I think it was called. I wrote a story called Ghosts, and I wrote a story called The Briefcase, and I posted them, and a couple of people have read them and said they're alright. But for the most part, anything I wrote, I never really did anything with. I say we never really did anything with, apart from maybe one.
David! Slowly, mate! Come on! David! 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 Slowly! David! David!
About 13, 14 years ago, I bought a clown costume for a fancy dress party we were going to, and walking round in that costume made me realise just how many people were scared of clowns. Now I know I've always known a lot of people were scared of clowns, but just walking around in that costume and seeing the reaction I was getting, it made me realise there's more people than you think out there that are scared of clowns. So I wrote a short film, and it was about an escaped convict who dressed as a clown, and me, my best friend and my wife, we filmed that video and I edited it, and the whole thing was done and ready to post somewhere, and my laptop died and it was lost. No, I didn't back it up, so it was gone. But I never let go of that idea. And then 12 years ago, I got in touch with my brother after a long time and figured out that he'd been making music videos down in Portsmouth where he was living, and I'd been writing scripts, and the two just seemed, well, match made in heaven. So we got together and I told him about the idea of the clown film, and we rewrote it, and we rewrote it as a feature film, an hour and a half long film. And we wrote it together, he filmed and edited it, and we cast it with friends and people that we knew and people that were just interested to get involved. We put it on Facebook and people would contact us saying that they'd like to be involved. So we wrote the script to fit the cast that we had. So much so that as the film was being made, we would get other people saying, "Oh, could I be in your film?" And we would write them a part. The film was made, we had a premiere and everything at the local pub. The whole process was fun and enjoyable. It was the stressful element too, but for the most part it was enjoyable. And we posted it online, and it's still there today for you to watch. I will post a link in the description if you want to go and watch that. It's called Clown Around.
I thought you were coming back for me.
Don't hurt me, please.
We even started a second film called Vengeful, and that one was a bit more challenging because we just found it hard to get people together in the same place, and people would say they would be available and then they weren't available. And we understand these are people you're not paying, they're volunteering their time and they have lives and those lives sometimes get in the way of what you want to do, and you just have to just take it on the chin. And in the end it got a bit too much, a bit too frustrating, and the whole Vengeful film got canned and it never got finished. I never gave up the idea of making films, so 12 years ago I went out and I bought my first camera, my Panasonic Lumix FZ48, with the idea of making short films. It's shot in HD, and I thought that's enough, I can make a short film. So the first short film I made was just a test film, just to test the camera out to see if it could do what I wanted it to do, but also test the green screen setup that I had, because we'd found making Clown Around that when you're shooting on location, background noise can be an issue, and we had to redub some of our scenes because of planes flying over or cars going past or just background noise in general. So I had the idea that if I could shoot what I needed at the location, but then any dialogue between the actors could be shot in front of a green screen using backgrounds that we would get at the location. So that was the idea of it. So me and my son went out with the camera to the location that we'd had in mind and shot what we needed there. Then we came home and shot the dialogue on the green screen. It was just a 5-minute test film. It was called Gone, and that's online. You can watch that. I'll link that in the description as well. But here's what that looked like.
What's up, yo?
Right, chill out, mate, aren't I?
Been here ages.
Like I said, chill out. It's not an easy thing to get hold of.
Did you get it?
Depends. You got the cash?
Well, obviously, yeah.
Let me see it.
What?
Let me see the money.
With the confidence I gained from that film, knowing that the camera could do what I wanted it to do, I then wrote a short script called The Hit, and I filmed that in my own house using my family as a cast, but also a guy called Carl came on board. We'd actually met him to come on board for Vengeful, but because that obviously didn't get finished, but he was a good actor, I kept in touch with him and asked him if he wanted to play the hitman in my short film The Hit, and he agreed. We filmed it in one night. I edited it myself, and that's also online. The link is, well, you know where the link is if you want to watch it, and that looked a little bit like this.
I'll get it. Hiya, can I help you?
Who is it?
After that, I didn't make anything else for a long time until 2016. I'd always entertained the idea of doing a sequel to Clown Around, but as I said, doing a feature film, it's a long process and it's hard to get everybody together when you're not paying people to be involved. And I came up with an idea that I would film it in short films, a series of shorts. Each short would only need 2 or 3 cast members, with one recurring cast member, obviously, or 1 or 2 all the way through. But if you linked all the short stories up together, you would have one full film. I wrote the majority of it. I'd pretty much finished the script, and nothing ever got done. We never got round to doing it. For one reason or another, I just lost interest. I just forgot about the idea, and I went off and started doing photography in one form or another. Actually, that's not true. We did film one scene. The first scene in the film, or the first short story, was going to be the main character from the first film, Dutchy Holland, my best mate, talking to a psychologist, and he would recap the first film in the session. And the idea of that was you wouldn't then have to watch the first film, because it was all recapped, and we would show flashbacks in the first short. And then the psychologist returns home to her flat after the interview, and Clown shows up, and the story starts. So we did film the second part of that first short, and it got filmed, edited, went on my laptop, and then, as I say, the whole thing got shelved and nothing else happened. Until recently, I was clearing out a load of old files on my laptop, and I found this short film that I'd made, and it was pretty raw. It wasn't really finished. It wasn't, it was edited, but when I watched it, I wasn't happy with it. I'd learned so much more about filmmaking since making that, so I tried my best to re-edit it, colour grade it, and I completed it as a little short film that stands on its own. And it's never been seen. No one's ever seen it until now. So this is a film I made in 2016, a little short film, just to show you what I'm talking about.
Hello, police. Yeah, there's an intruder in my house. He's dressed as a clown. I've shot him. Yeah. 9 Ellesmere Brook. Yeah, please, quick. No, please don't hurt me, no, please don't hurt me, no.
So why am I telling you this now? This year I want to get back into making short films. The camera I had before, the Panasonic Lumix FZ48, it was okay, it was a good camera, but it had some issues. For example, it didn't have an external mic, so you only had the mic inbuilt into the camera, which could cause problems when you were zooming. Sometimes the mic would actually pick up the mechanism sliding and it would pick up that noise. You had to be right on top of everyone to get the sound quality that you wanted, so it had some issues. But with the new camera, it has an external mic, it's a better camera all around, it shoots in 4K. It's just sparked my interest again into making short films. And when I was clearing out the files on the laptop and found the old film you've just seen, I also found 3 finished scripts for short films that I've wrote. 2 of them are ready to shoot, they're done, they're finished, they're completed scripts and they're ready to go. The 3rd needs a bit of tweaking because when I wrote it I had certain people and certain places in mind, and those are no longer available to me for one reason or another, so that needs retweaking and redoing, but 2 of them are ready to go. The first one is called Domestic, and it's a male lead, female lead, that's all. And it is what it sounds like. It's an argument between a couple which then escalates to, well, let's just leave it at that. The second one is called Three Fugitives, and that's about 3 bank robbers meeting up after a botched job to discuss what went wrong, and chaos ensues. And I want to shoot those films, I want to make them. I don't want them just to be finished scripts on my laptop that nobody ever reads or sees. I want to make them, I want to create those films and get them out there. So a couple of weeks ago I posted this on my Instagram just to gauge some interest. Did anybody that was following me on Instagram have any, secret ambition to be in a film or a film star? And off the back of that I got a DM and it said Star Now, and Star Now is a website where you could go to and post your jobs, so thanks for that advice. And I did that. I went on Star Now and I posted a job saying I was looking to make some short films and I was looking for actors to be involved. It was unpaid work. Did anybody want to volunteer the time? And I left it at that. And fortunately people want to be involved. I've had messages off people and I've spoken to a few actors and actresses that are up for the experience, so hopefully we can get that off the ground. And that's where we're at now. We're talking about when we're going to do it and how we're going to do it and who's going to do it, and along the way we can keep you updated with like behind the scenes videos and interviews with the people getting involved, and just follow the whole process. And hopefully at the end of it we'll have some films that I can be proud of, and it gives the people involved a platform to express their creativity and show what they can do to the world. And that's what this is about. That's what I said in my first video. I just want to create stuff. I just want to put my stuff out there. I've always wrote these scripts and wrote these songs and sung these songs, and nobody's ever seen or heard them, and I just keep them on my laptop and I keep them to myself. And this year that's going to change. I want to get out to different cities and do my photography videos. People have been watching them, shockingly, not many, but people have watched them. So I'll keep making them. It gives me something to do. It scratches that creative itch. I want people to see the films that I want to make. I want people to hear the songs that maybe not hear me sing. Maybe that's a bad idea, but who knows, down the line I might put some of that out there too. But for now, we're going to concentrate on making some short films. This is the stage we're at. It's getting off the ground. I just hope I can make it fly. If we do, I hope you come back and watch, and I hope you enjoy it. But for now, thanks for watching.